Scrapbookers and creative friends, I'm Linda Petuch. I'm a Creative Memories Independent Advisor in Jupiter, Florida. Thank you so much for tuning in to Thursday Thoughts once again or for the first time. I thank you for subscribing and encourage you to do so if you have not already. Today I am so excited to share with you because Thursday Thoughts today, prepping was the most fun because I got to do what I love to do best, and that is be creative. So I'm going to share my spring fling ideas with you using some of Creative Memories' newest products. We're going to be using this beautiful frame and border punch that's called Spring Leaves. We're also going to use this fresh flowered, it's like a drop flower. We're going to use this punch as well. And the new collection, which is called Birds and Blossoms, which, thank you, Creative Memories, you made it just for me. I love it. So the other thing too is I'm going to pull in a few vintage flower things that we had for over the years, and I'll show you how I store them and also how I use them in my creations. The other thing too, one more thing that I'm going to share with you is a little surprise. Show you how you can change the beauty that we already have. You can also just accelerate it a little bit, augment it a little bit. So buckle up because we're going to have a good time, have a spring fling together. Let's create some spring things. So I'm going to start with this Spring Leaves border and frame punch, and it's a border and frame punch because if you use the markings that we have right here, you can create a 12-inch border. But if you use these silver lines, I hope you can see on the wings here, if you follow those, then you can create a frame around the edge of your paper. So I'm going to show you what I created with these, just using them as they were. So take a look at our first. So this is how the frame border works, frame punch works. Here you can use it as a border. You have to use even numbers. This was a 4x4 piece of paper. This was an 8x6 piece of paper. Of course, a 12x12 works beautifully as well. So let's take a look at my 12x12 I created. So that 12x12 you create all the way around the outside edge, and all I did was add a couple of photo mats and some, this is an embellishment from the Birds and Blossoms collection, and the 5-leaf punch. That's an older punch that we have. This little beautiful little butterfly, little monarch butterfly, was in the Birds and Blossoms. And these flowers are not current flowers. These are some of the vintage ones that I was talking about, but they're really lovely to drop on a page to add a little touch of color. But you can see this was the 12x12 frame punch called Spring Leaves. Makes a beautiful setting for your photos. Now you could use smaller photos if you wanted. You could do maybe a couple of 4x4s, and if cattywampus doesn't work for you, you can make them straight on here as well. All right, so you know I can't leave well enough alone, so let's see what else I did with it. This one, I did use the bird. This is the Birds and Blossom designer piece of paper. It's pink cardstock, and this is this beautiful little drop flower, called Fresh Flower, and it punches out the interior, so you have all the little confetti from in there. But I decided to use again some of those vintage flowers and let them show through, and use some of the vintage petals as well. This was an 10x10 piece of cardstock, and then after I punched the border, I just angled it to make it a little bit different. This would probably have one special picture. I'll probably put one special, maybe our Easter table or something I will put on here with everybody gathered on this particular page, or it would make a really nice title page. So that is turning it, using it a little bit smaller frame that way. Now, I decided I wanted to do, before I go on with that, yes. So this is the Spring Leaves, and I did it. This was an 8x8 frame that I used the border punch on, but then I decided I wanted to take the confetti. Now I do keep the confetti, but I keep it very organized. I'm not a hoarder. I keep it very organized because you can use it. So when you're doing detail work like this, I highly recommend that you have this wonderful little pickup stick. $8, and it makes all the difference in the world. Let me just show you. So this is the Precision Point glue. So what I did was I took this off. Now you have to squeeze this a little when you're putting it in there. So I squeezed and put the adhesive in the empty spot, and then I had already spread these out on my table. I didn't spread them all out for now, but I spread these all out. And then when you're ready to pick up the piece, this little Precision Point, you pick it up and place it there, and then just use your nail, or you can use the multi-purpose tool as well to hold it in place. If this starts to get sticky over time, that's no problem. You can just wash it gently with a little soap and water, and then the stickiness comes right back. I highly recommend this because some of this detail work yes, it's a little bit fussy and a little bit tedious, but when you have the tools, it makes a whole big difference. So this is what I did here. But I got to thinking, I love to paint with the Creative Memories pens because they are photo safe. So I decided I want to share another skill with you. Becky Belote was the first advisor I saw do this, and Noreen Smith has done a few things with it as well, and that is painting with our Creative Memories pens. The reason you can safely paint with them is because the ink is photo safe. You don't have to worry about it damaging your photos in any way. So, and it adds a little bit of dimension, as you'll see. I create some paper with the paint on it, and then I do the punching when it's dry, when it's completely dry. So let's take a look at how I do this. So this is an old piece of white cardstock. It's I think it was 10 by 12, and I still have some of that because I've been around with Creative Memories for a while. So I decided I wanted to use this, and all you use these makeup sponges. They're pretty inexpensive to get. Use the makeup sponges, and I decided I want to use some of the new pastel pens, some of the new pens that we got in this wonderful little holder here. These are the rainbow pens. But I grabbed all the greens that I had. The dot pen actually is one of the best ways to do this because you have that thicker end on the dot pen. So those are really good for getting the ink on your sponge. So I grabbed all my little greens, and then all you do, I'm going to show you on this white. I did put this white cardstock, or actually this is just a piece from the Fill and File Sleeves packet, just to protect it. So I put that there because you want to go right to the edge. Let me just show you with this one. So this is one of the shimmer ones. So you put the ink, just put the ink on the sponge, and then you can start dabbing it. And then if you wanted to kind of smear and spread out a little bit more, you can I just add a little bit of water. It's just as a little water bottle on there, and it smears it a little bit more. And you can get kind of a mottled watercolor design. And then I did use a different sponge for the different inks, just so that they didn't bleed into one another. Oops, wrong end. We want that thicker. I'm using my opposite hand, so it's a little challenging. Okay, and then you can mix and match and blend it. You can smear it however you want to do. There is no wrong way to do this. And it makes a really nice design. Now, what I did was after I got my white cardstock completely painted, then I set it aside and I let it dry. And once it was dry enough that it wouldn't stick to my 13-inch mat, I popped it underneath there just to kind of keep it flat because I wanted to be able to punch it. So now I want to show you my punched creations with this kind of paper. This was my second paper that I made to show you. But with the first one that I did, this is how it looks. So it does add a wonderful little dimension. This is the spring leaf, the same spring leaf border punch. But instead of just having a solid color, it makes it like watercolor. These I put on here, you could add, and this is tropical blue. And with that mixture of greens, you can pick up on any one of those colors that are there. And this is on dark sea green. So you can pick up on any color. And I use just made 4x6 mats, which, means that your photos are going to have to be trimmed slightly under 4x6 if you want to have a little frame around them. But there's one look there. And then on this one, I decided, because of the curves of the leaves, I thought it might be fun to have kind of like a canopy there. So I decided I got my custom cutting system and ovals, and I decided to make an oval mat. So this would be my mat, and this would be my photo. Okay, the white will represent my photo. Put that on there. And then I made a couple of 4x4s, so your photograph will have to be a little bit under 4x4. But isn't that so pretty? It's like a beautiful watercolor canopy at the top. I just love it. I hope you do too. So now I want to share with you some of the, I said vintage Creative Memories products, and those were some of the pre-made flowers and beautiful petals that we've had over the last couple of years, and they come from different collections, and I have kept them. Last year was Painted Garden. I think the year before was Rainbow Rush. There was also Botanical Burst, Vivid Melodies, and in each one of those collections, their embellishments consisted not only of designs and so forth, but they had a lot of flowers, flower parts, different size flowers, flower petals. So I've kept them, and I want to show you how I organize them so that I can just grab them when I'm creating my borders and my pages. So look down here, and you see this is one of our storage containers that you can put these little 5x7 boxes in. I store a lot of my supplies in these boxes, and we get 6 of these in this bin, in this container. But then what I did was I got these little envelopes. These are for stamping. Lauren Hines told us about these. They're just envelope for stamping. You can put stamp or die cuts or something in them. I don't do that, so I'm not real familiar with that. But also then it comes with the labels so that you can add. So in here I have like leftover jewel and enamel dots, and then I've sorted these beautiful flowers by the colors. Whoop, that's a different one. By the colors, so that when I'm creating something, I can go to that specific color. I also put like pre-cut eggs for Easter. These are some that I decorated and colored, and I did link a video to making these eggs. I have that linked in my description. But this is a lovely way that you can go and put all your little scraps. I put them by category. A lot of my embellishments go in here. That way they are safe. They don't fall out and get all over the place, and they're all in one spot. I have a separate one that I use for holiday. So it might be something that you consider, because then the boxes that you had inside here are fabulous for storing other Creative Memories tools. Now let's take a look at some of my pages. So before I show you the pages that I made and some borders, I'm crazy for making borders. So before I show you that, I just want to show you, this is that little drop flower, the fresh flower. So I pre-punch. I only did a couple of colors because this is what I was using right now, but a lot of times I'll just have a punch bonanza, and I just keep punching, and then I have little storage containers. So then when you go to create things, you already have the pieces. You can spread them out in front of you. I actually have a flower making video that I made too, and that is also linked in the description below if you want to see a little bit more about how I do that. But anyway, so birds and blossoms. Let's take a look at our birds and blossoms. So this birds and blossoms, this is that Power Project folder that you can put all the different pieces. I don't have a lot left in here because I just went crazy and I used almost all the paper. I think I have one little tiny piece of paper left and a few borders left. That's it out of all of them. Absolutely gorgeous collection. Of course, it screams spring, so that's what I'm going to share with you. The first thing I want to show you is a border that I made, and I used my painted cardstock to make my little border here, my leaf border here. And then these are from the Birds and Blossoms collection, little embellishments, and a laser cut border that I added to this. A little butterfly. And I did pop, I don't know if you can see, but I popped these up on foam squares. These are foam squares for those of you who aren't familiar. They're in all different sizes, and they are a really nice adhesive. You can put the sticky side on your embellishment, but you don't have to place it until you peel off that stickiness. So there's this little plastic here. So if you're arranging and so forth, you can already have it popped up and then decide where you're going to put it. We also have foam tape, sometimes for larger pieces. That's what I use. But this is the foam tape when you hear me talking about popping it up. So this was my Springtime Memories little border and using the Birds and Blossoms. Now I want to show you some pages. So this is all the paper. This is paper from the collection. I love this. It looks like a brown speckled egg to me. I just love it. And again, I added that the spring leaves border punch here. That's one. I know that I'm going to have garden pictures, so I decided that I would put this here and some of my, in Florida, we have things blooming all year, but there are specific things that bloom at different times of the year. So this page will be dedicated to that. Spring rain coming down. It's just ideal. As I said, they made this collection for me. Thank you, Creative Memories. Here's another. On this one, I did use the foam tape because I was putting these large laser cuts down here. This to me looks like a little canopy. I love it. And then I decided not to make individual mats here. Instead, I just have this really open and flexible for whatever I decide, whatever pictures I decide to put there. It could be one large one, it could be a couple of smaller ones. It could be, whatever I decide. But that way it's already set and ready to go. And these also are popped up on the foam tape. Maybe I said that. Okay. And I love adding these little squiggly lines when the butterflies are coming and going from the blossoms. That makes me happy. Here's another one. And this, I got some of my Easter eggs that I had either put stickers on or painted or used different papers to make decorated eggs. And I decided I wanted to make another one for this year because I made a lot last year. I used paint with stencils, dot pens. This was the paint with the sponge. These are stickers that I actually put on. These are dot pens. And then, but as I said, there is another video that I linked there for making the eggs, my egg extravaganza. Beautiful monarch butterflies, and there are so many beautiful reasons to be happy. We're going to record that right here. Let's take a look at the next one. So, a lot of blues there. Now I'm coming to orange. By the way, I want to mention that those of you who already know, just bear with me. But orange and blue are opposites on the color wheel, so they're called complementary colors. So it's really nice that you can, if you look at the color wheel, especially that little color wheel that Creative Memories came out with, if you choose colors that are the opposite sides of the color wheel, it really helps balance it. So I decided to go for orange here, and of course yellow. So I picked up the colors that were in this paper. This is my folded page technique. I have a video for that as well, folded paper. I can link that in the description. Very simple way. As long as you like both sides, you just fold that over. You already have what looks like a border. These are some of those beautiful Vivid Melody, Botanical Burst flowers, pre-made flowers that I put on here. Popped them up. I added the little enamel dots, and this is from the Birds and Blossoms. But it all looks so beautiful, and I'm ready to go for 3 photos. Let's see what we have next. Okay, I did more eggs, and I wanted to do, not the Easter egg kind of a look, but the natural eggs, because of course it's about birds and blossoms. So these are all eggs that we would find in nature, and I decided to use the mats the same way. So this is about a 4x6, so I will have to use my custom cutting system and cut my photograph a little bit smaller. Same thing here. I could use this. I could cut either cardstock or those wonderful mat packs, make it smaller. They actually even have them with oval shapes you could put in there, but I'm ready to go for 3 photographs and just echo that little egg shape because it's spring. Okay, this one I designed as a double page spread. I got my oranges there. This is an older punch, the branches, but I just loved this blue and orange together so much. I thought that would be a really pretty thing to put together. And as you see, I have room for 5 photographs on here, talking about our spring rains, and I just love it. I think it's beautiful, beautiful. This paper is just exquisite. This collection is fabulous. Now I want to show you one more thing. Let me get some cardstock to put down there. Yeah, I'm going to have a blank space. So let's take a look at the borders I came up with. These are simple borders, but I did them with this is Birds and Blossoms. I just used the complementary cardstock. The cardstock that coordinates with that will be on the front of your paper. Let me show you that. So all the new collections have the coordinating cardstock. So this is the baby blue cardstock. And then these are 2 of the sticker borders that I added on there. Very simple. But again, I did 2 so that I could have it side by side on a double page spread. I could also frame a page like this or like this. Simple, leaves you lots of space for your photographs. Another border. I went back into my stash of the Vivid Melodies and so forth, and these I put some actual bling on and some more leaves. But I love the striped paper from the Birds and Blossoms. Really pretty. And again, I created this one so that it could be used horizontally or vertically, whatever I feel like doing. And this one Okay, this is more of my building flowers. This is the Birds and Blossoms paper. It has the little bird houses and everything all over it. But I decided I wanted to make some drop flowers. And I didn't, oh yes I did. Yes I did. I did make them the same, excuse me, the same, so that if I wanted to use them on a double page spread or on one page, they would be coordinated. But these are all a bunch of different pre-cut. I pre-cut a lot of these, and then I just pull from them. I highly recommend you do this, because then when you're creating, you're just creating. You're not thinking about anything else. You're just looking at all the different possibilities, and that's a really great way to do it. Then you start creating your flowers. This was the Unbelievable punch, an older punch, but I thought that would be nice, and I didn't do it in green just because I didn't have to. I had the choice. And that's the other thing I wanted to mention. You want to think about what things you have and what possibilities could be. In December, we had collections that had, this was called Flames and Drops, and it looks like water drops or fire flames, but I also saw flower petals. So I used this punch, and I punched out, as you can see, I have a hexagon on the smaller for the medium-sized punches, and then I have a circle. This is from our circle punch, and I just layered the petals, and in the center, I put our new drop flower, this one, in the center, and went to my stash of bling, and then I have that there. This is from some other little sun punches that I have. Again, I want you to think about what you have and look at your punches and look at your supplies differently and see what you can come up with. Okay, thank you again for watching. I hope that you have a wonderful spring, whether you celebrate Easter, Passover, or whatever you celebrate. Be together, enjoy the change in seasons. Yes, we even see the change in season in Florida. It's a little more subtle, but I'm a Florida native, so I get it. It is sad for me because my hummingbirds leave in April, but they'll be back. So I have to think about that. So now, if you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comments below. I always check my comments, and I will be happy to see whatever, to answer whatever questions you have. The reason I did this time is because one of my subscribers asked if I had any flower videos. So I sent her my flower video, but I thought, it's time for some more creative work. So that's why I did this today. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe. And if you want to visit my website, you can go to lindascrapbookingstation.com, where I additionally put products all the time. So just keep checking back. Also, you can shop with me at Creative Memories. The link is at the bottom in the description. And if you are interested in a little side gig, please join my team. If you aren't close by in Jupiter, that's okay. We can work virtually. So take a look and visit my website and go shopping if you wish. Have a wonderful spring, and thanks again for watching. Goodbye for now.